Alright, time for the other Autocrafter. This one is the one I dubbed playfully the poor person's Autocrafter. No, it doesn't exactly mean the material cost is cheaper, it's just you use less rare items in order to craft this stuff. Anyways, so this one differs from the first one I showed in that this one is kind of riskier to use because it can jam on you, but it's very easy to expand your menu. It works on a menu system as well. But this one doesn't require you to have the blueprints in the system. It will use the blueprints from a box and then send it over and craft it alongside the items. And you also don't need a buddy box. You can just grab items from your treasure or loot room and transfer it in and craft the stuff. While you can kind of force a buddy box to work in this, it gets really complicated as you try to expand it to make it work with the buddy box. But essentially, without the buddy box, it has a tendency to break because it doesn't know how to read some of your materials from your treasure room properly. So it puts stuff into the crafter and then just it might not have enough and then it just kind of sits there. But regardless, this one allows you to just put literally infinite amount of conveyors to fit whatever you want to be building. It does require you to expand it in really goofy ways, and it is pretty space intensive if you decide to do a lot. Mostly because it's kind of a good idea to go by threes, 3, 3, and 3. But anyways, I'll show you how it works. So like I said, consider this like your loot room. All of this will go through the filters and go into whichever one you're activating, and there's going to be a special box solely for your blueprints. All right, your blueprints will come from here and then go back in here once it's done working. We're going to craft one item. In this case, it's going to be an SMG. It's going to summon everything, including the blueprint, and then take it into the crafter. It's going to go through the whole process of crafting it. It's going to be pretty slow, and also it will be pretty slow to the refresh because it requires you to have another conveyor just sitting idly by until the gun is transferred through, and then this industrial conveyor turns on this other one to transfer over the items. You'll see it transfers the gun, turns on this conveyor, it transfers the blueprint and turns itself off, and there you go. Item is complete. It should be over here. Bingo bango. Alright, so this is what you need to start off with first. So you really only need 4 power, so you would have 1 industrial conveyor into these 2, and then from the last one to pass through for the Autocrafter. But it's better to do this in batches of 3. And each time you want to upgrade to having more industrial conveyors, you need to keep doing it by 3, by 3, by 3. So consider that when you're trying to, gauge how much power you're going to use. Alright, so these boxes here will represent your treasure room. Set them up however you want, including your blueprint box. It really doesn't really matter. So, anyways, you'll need a combiner, and that combiner will go into a splitter, and then that splitter, each of them will go into an industrial conveyor. Then each of these industrial conveyors will go into yet another splitter. The reason for that is one of these will go into a blueprints thingy, and the other one will go for, resources mats. This one goes straight into the crafter, and this one ends up going right into the blueprints in thingy. And then you also need 2 more conveyors over here, obviously your, bench, and the Autocrafter itself. Now, to wire this up is pretty basic. I already explained it. All the conveyors just kind of get put together, and then the last one goes into the Autocrafter. But every conveyor will have a filter pass into their turn off switch. So once they're done pushing something through, they turn themselves off. Then the last one will also have the same thing, the one that takes out the blueprints, filter pass, enter filter fail. And the one that takes out all the guns will have the filter pass to turn on the blueprint one. So this one, the filter pass, connects right here. And there you go. Alright, now let's actually just show the piping. So, easy, treasure room into the combiner in whatever combination you want, into the splitter. And this splitter is where you can deviate when you start expanding. If you start expanding, you just simply add more splitters and more conveyors, and then more splitters, and then more combiners. But for right now, we're at the lowest point of it. So, you'll take each of the industrial outs into another conveyor. Like that. Simple. And then each of these will go into another splitter. Pretty simple there. And now, this is where it kind of gets a little, messy, but not too messy. The industrial out one into one of the combiners for each of them. This one will be your blueprints. Then the other one doesn't really matter between 2 or 3. You take that one into the other combiner. And this one will be for your material cost. So the material one goes directly into the industrial crafter. There you go. Then the other one goes straight into the blueprints in. There you go. That's the quick setup for these. Bingo bango, you've got that. Alright, then you take the Autocrafter output into, well, you know, the one that takes out all the guns. So, you know, put the guns in this one. And then you put the other output, the blueprints out, into the one that takes specifically the blueprints. There you go, SMG, custom, and make sure you click the blueprint button. There you go. Then you just kind of reconnect them right back to, you know, whatever treasure boxes you have. And, you know, that's pretty much it. It's, again, it's already completely set up. All you got to really do is give it a test whirl and see if it works out, which it should. All right, so click the button for a custom SMG. It should take out all the materials from these boxes, including the blueprint. Turn itself off, start crafting. There you go. And then it's going to do, you know, the other magic of withdrawing the gun and turning on the other filter. Like I said, really, really easy to set up. And again, its main weakness is that it can jam on you, mostly because of the nature of how things get filtered. And if you've got teammates who are a little too, you know, button pressy, it'll easily jam. So yeah, if you want to expand it, put more of these, hook them up, put them in 3s. There you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So now I've shown you both my Autocrafter versions, and both have their pros and cons. This Autocrafter is a lot cheaper to set up and expand, and directly flows from a lot of natural base builds. Its main weaknesses are that it is prone to jamming far easier than the other version, especially if someone just clicks buttons too liberally. And it is stuck using just one crafter unless you create an add-on for it, which at that point you might as well switch to the other version of the Autocrafter. That said, it's actually very easy to start off with this version and switch to the expensive version when you can afford to do so. And the expensive version is capable of mass production, so it's a good thing to keep in mind. Most add-ons from the other Autocrafter version also tend to work with this one, but some don't necessarily play too well with it, and you might have to do like a custom setup with those add-ons. Anyhow, those were my 2 Autocrafters, more of my menu crafters, and perhaps down the line I'll showcase my Omega Crafter, but that may be a while from now.